Cubs lose again. We talk about it.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's episode is presented by our great partners at Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. We do have history and trivia later, injury updates. We dig into some numbers for the Cubs offense the last 2 weeks, and we start with the Cubs losing 4-3 in 11 innings to the Phillies on Monday. Ian Happ hit a solo homer to tie it in the 8th. PCA doubled in a run in the 11th, but the Cubs could not complete the comeback as they are now 40-26 on the season. JT Realmuto had a great piece of hitting against Daniel Palencia to open the 11th, and then they bunted safely twice in a row en route to the win. Close calls and missed chances for the second game in a row for the Cubs, though the Phillies did out-hit them 16-5. Sam, your initial thoughts on this one?
My initial thoughts are this is a bad Monday. As literally as we just hit record, the Cardinals made a huge comeback and are probably going to win that game. And just one of those days. Look, I said this yesterday. I'll say it again. It feels like the Cubs are metaphorically like the hitter right now that's doing like decent things, not finding any luck, and you just have to hope it doesn't turn into a slump because, you know, they're struggling offensively. There's no question about it. But they've seen Gore. They've seen Skubal. They've seen Flaherty. They've seen Wheeler. And, you know, the only real issue I have with them offensively is scoring one run in extra innings off of Hernandez and Romano, who are both having miserable campaigns, each of them. But there were so many balls that were hit well today off the bat, a couple by Pete, one by Seiya, a couple by Dansby. And then you look at how the Phillies were horrible tonight. That's the most frustrating part of this game. The Phillies were awful in this game. They made 3 or 4 outs on the base paths. They had bases loaded, no outs, double play after double play after double play.
The Blue Jays just tied it.
And you cannot, and I mean cannot tell me, because like we previewed this game, right? And we were like, hey, this could be a get-right series for the Phillies. They were awful. I mean, they were getting booed. The only reason this was a game was because Zach Wheeler's unbelievably good. He's one of the most underrated pitcher in all baseball. And Matthew Boyd was really good again outside of that pickoff that he threw. You know, he almost hit the popcorn guy in the 13th row again. It's just it was a game where it felt like neither team wanted to win the game.
Correct.
And I'll just say this offensively. I don't understand why Dansby Swanson is still hitting where he's hitting. He got moved down to 8th. He was awesome. And then he got hot and he got moved up. He's not hot anymore. And
he's been really, really poor.
And I know that this is kind of hindsight's 2020, but when Pete gets to third base there, if Nico Hoerner's up, the Cubs get another run. I want Nico, and Nico Hoerner's been struggling in his own right, but use his tools to your advantage. Have him hit behind Pete, behind Tucker, behind Seiya, so he gets risk opportunities, runners on third, less than 2 outs. That's where it is, because you just can't strike out in that spot. You just can't. Now, if you're facing a guy throwing 102 or nasty stuff, Carlos Hernandez is not good, okay? He's on his, 5th team.
He hadn't pitched in a whole week.
That was ridiculous. They should have broke it open.
Absolutely. And I have some numbers here. I think it's a good reminder first of all, that they were in a soft schedule.
Yes.
To lead off this last 13 games that I'm about to detail. But then also in the second half of this 13, they really have faced not only good pitching, but great pitching. Swanson concerns me big time. He entered Monday, the last couple weeks, hitting 174, one walk and 16 strikeouts, and he K'd a couple times on Monday, so that went up. You can't K there with PCA on third and one out. There was even some great defense that was wiped out there, especially in the 10th.
Yeah,
by Matt Shaw. But Sam, the offense has stalled the last 13 games.
Yeah.
And they've scored 3 runs or less 8 times, 2 runs or less 6 times. And despite this, they're 8-5. And thanks in part to soft schedule, but also pitching and defense. You have more than a handful of guys who literally don't give up runs in the pen. Boyd, Brown, and Tyone have been excellent. Horton's been good. But the offense is something to keep an eye on, because I like the analogy of the struggling hitter. But the fact is, the Cubs have multiple now struggling hitters, and it has snowballed a bit.
No, you're 100% right. Let's just go through it really quick. Hap from the left side is in a huge funk. Right side, he's been good. Left side, he's been in a funk really most of the season, but definitely since coming back from an injury. Tucker looks good. Seiya looks like Seiya. I think Pete looks great. I mean, he's hitting into some tough luck, but I think he looks great.
Okay.
After that,
so the last 2 weeks, you think Seiya looks good? I wasn't sure.
I don't think he's standing out to me. He hit that ball 110 today. That got caught. He had 2 homers on Saturday.
Let's keep going through it then. What about Carson Kelly?
Awful.
He came into Monday hitting 074.
No. And so that's what I was going to get to. So you were getting a lot from your catchers. Amaya's hurt, and Carson Kelly is the regression's a real thing. And I know it's not fun to talk about when things are going well. It's here. Swanson, just talked about him. Nico, 2 for his last 22. Shaw's been fine. So really, that
Bush has been excellent.
And Bush has been really good. So it's really about 3-4-ish guys that are really struggling. And I think you make a great point. That's a really good glass half full take, is if you can go 8-5 with the run production that you just mentioned.
Oh, atrocious run production.
Yeah, that's really good. I want to just make one point.
Just atrocious.
I want to just make one point non-offense on this game. And I know it's wrong because he's been great, but I just got to say it. And you know where I'm going with this. Right. Daniel Palencia's got to figure out a way to land another pitch in the zone.
Yeah, he looked like a 12U game at one point. It's like, you can't just throw fastballs.
When he gets it up,
they're going to hit him.
When he gets it up elevated enough, it does work. Like Robert Suarez does that, but you gotta,
but not for a whole season. Though.
Yeah, you gotta be able to mix in. I thought Castellanos should have walked off the game in the 10th. He got 100. He got 100 right down the middle, and he missed it. You can't do that. You got to just be able to spin one in there just to keep the guys honest, because no matter how hard you throw, when they know when it's coming, that means you have to locate it absolutely perfectly. You say great piece of hitting by Real Muto. I don't disagree, but it's a lot easier when it's a one-pitch pitcher.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the bullpen was good again up until that point. So yeah, it's too bad, because I did think Monday was an important one. Mm-hmm. And then to top it off, you do exit this one thinking, hey, we could have won.
For sure.
And you're already in the midst of a challenging part of the schedule, and the opponent isn't good. They entered Monday having lost 5 in a row. I didn't even mention this on the last episode. 1-9 in their last 10.
9 of 10. And I think that's a good reminder, though, for people that are really angry tonight. The Phillies are probably going to make the playoffs, and they've just lost 9 of 10 games. It happens. It's very irritating. I mean, how many times does a team win when they get booed like 4 times at home? I mean, I know it's Philly, but they were getting booed. They were getting booed. I mean, every double play.
The fans are rough, man.
And I think we should mention that Craig got tossed again.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did. He was animated.
And that guy was running out of the baseline. Now, granted, would he have been safe? I don't know. I'll just say it. I thought it was another poorly umpired game. Had no impact on the game. Had no impact on the game whatsoever. Poorly umpired baseball game again.
It was for the second game in a row. Coming up next,
Man, this sport is something, isn't it?
coming up next, we'll preview Tuesday's game a little bit and then give you updates on especially Hodge and Imanaga. Also, a sentence or two on Amaya and Assad. I haven't heard about those guys in really like a couple of months. Well, it's felt like that, but also keep it locked here for history and trivia. It's becoming
I'm pleading
somewhat
the
of an
fifth.
infamous segment,
I'm pleading the fifth.
and we do that later. Today's episode is brought to you by our great partner at Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades. Supply House, whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast for coast. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers an exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled pros already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks of a button. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. Supplyhouse.com/TM and use code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Cubs Phillies game 2 on Tuesday. And that's going to be Colin Ray against Mick Abel. And, we're talking about get right series for the Phillies. How about is it fair to say this could be somewhat of a get right game for the Cubs who would like to avoid losing 3 in a row, right?
Have they done that this year?
One time.
Okay. Yeah, when they lost to the Mets, right?
Early May, yeah.
Giants to Mets. Yeah, I think I hope so. It's just funny because, we talk about how much the offense is struggling, and you're right. But when you say it out loud, I really Kyle Tucker looked good. I think Seiya looks fine. Pete looks good. Bush looks good. You should be able to produce more runs than that. And so I think that supports Olber's theory here of just some really bad luck.
So you think they're getting good ABs and even good balls put into play. They're just outs.
I think they're hitting the ball better than the stats that you shared. I don't think they're doing well. If they the last 2 extra innings were not acceptable, but I think they're hitting the ball better than 1 run, 0 runs, whatever it is.
Well, I mean, and to oppose my own statistical evidence, look back at the series with the Rockies, Sam.
Yeah.
Should they have won all 3 of those games?
Well,
no.
Considering the opponent.
The answer is no.
Considering the opponent, probably.
I know, but considering the circumstances of the game.
Yeah, but again, in that series too, it was cold. They were hitting the ball right into the wind. And, I just feel like they offensively, they are getting, they're not doing great, but I really think the environment, that Red series, you couldn't hit the ball out of the park. The Rockies, then they had a fine offensive series in DC, and then, Detroit and that Grand Canyon against Scuba. I don't know. Let's see what happens. I think they're a little bit unlucky.
All right, stay tuned. I think the offense has stalled for the North Siders. So we have some updates here.
I'm just a positive guy.
Right. Well, that's usually what they say about you.
Yeah,
all right,
it is.
Porter.
You have great color in your face, by the way. You just look really healthy, and I feel like I look stressed.
Porter Hodge has a left hip impingement, an injury you don't often associate with professional athletes of his ilk, perhaps of his age, but he has it. He was put on the IL a few weeks ago now. But good news for him. He threw bullpen session on Saturday, slated to throw a live BP session Tuesday in Des Moines. I think later this week he'll pitch for the Cubs, and then maybe within the next couple of weeks he'll be on the Cubs. So that's good news.
It's important. They need him back.
They do, and so let's start there then, Sam, and then we'll get to him. We'll get to Imanaga.
Yeah,
I do think inserting a healthy Hodge in the pen, would then help to slide everybody back a rung on the trust tree, which is fine. But the bullpen really has been good. But to have a high ceiling option like that, especially in this part of the schedule, I would almost say it's much needed because it takes pressure off the other people.
Yeah, and those guys have been doing awesome. I mean, I'd like to give a shout out. How about Ryan Presley today? Yeah. 95, got some whiffs. It's funny. We continue to talk about, and I believe rightfully so, Cubs need pitching. The pitching, the starters in the bullpen have held up for now. And
they've been great.
Pomerantz does another nice job today.
Well, he should go to Atlanta for the ASG.
Well, don't joke. What's Boyd's ERA down to now?
Right.
Those guys have done a good job. And so I think they deserve to be able to exhale a little bit, get Hodge in there and take some pressure off of them.
Shota Imanaga threw a bullpen Saturday also. And he was IL'd way back on May 5th. He's probably about 3 weeks away, somewhere around there.
3?
I would say 2 to 3, yeah.
I
mean, that's my guess. That's me.
What did they initially say? Like 2 to 4?
Like when he got put on the IL?
Yeah. Because I remember
I should know that.
I asked you a question I know the answer of because I'm trying to be a good partner. The answer is, because I did an episode that night, I assumed a month. The initial is, we think we avoided a strain. We're gonna see where things are at after 2 weeks and beyond. So everybody, including me, assumed 4. And
there was another Sam Solo show where they said well into June. So I guess that's proving to be true.
Yeah, so it's going to be like a 7-week injury.
Yeah, that would be right on the money. 7 weeks if it's late June.
I mean, that's not a small absence, okay?
Nope. Small absence? No way.
We're missing our 2.
How many starts is that? 8?
We're missing our 2 best pitchers, okay? Our 2 best, our studs.
Like closer to 10.
Justin Steele for the season. Imanaga for 7-8 weeks. And, we deserve a little bit of luck. Can I whine? We deserve a little bit of luck.
Imanaga is slated to throw 2 innings in a rookie ball game on Tuesday.
Take 2 starters off St. Louis. See how they do. They're going extras.
Well, I do want to see how they do if that happened because quite frankly, I've had it up to here.
No, they're in the 10th. Phil Maton's pitching, the greatest
Blue Jays with a great comeback despite their blown game.
Trevor Hoffman and Phil Maton.
So Imanaga, Sam, I think he'll go to Des Moines probably next week, late next week at the latest. And the rotation, even though they have a trio of guys that have been excellent, especially Boyd and Tyone. If you want to throw Brown in because the last 2 starts, you can.
Yeah.
And Horton's been good.
Yeah.
But to make a tough decision on the combo of Ray, Horton, and Brown with what to do, that's needed. And Sam, Imanaga, he injured it was a long absence, but he injured his leg. He's going to have a live arm, I think.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Maybe not the first time, but probably the second time out and then some.
Let's, as Toronto takes the lead, let's do a let's do this. If Imanaga comes back tomorrow, who does he replace? I think it's
Colin Ray.
I think it's Colin Ray.
Oh, it's not even close.
Yeah.
There's no reason why Cade Horton should be demoted.
Okay.
There's no reason why Ben Brown should have his leash shortened. And Colin Ray should go back to the swingman role, which he did okay in before he got elevated to the rotation on Sunday Night Baseball.
And Chris Flexen, then what happens to him? Because all he's done is give up no runs.
Wow.
He hasn't given up a run since 1988.
Well, that's a good call. I wonder who would get sent out.
Because you can't have two. You can't have 2 long. No, I don't think you could have 2.
It would probably be Genesis Cabrera.
So you would have 2 long guys.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that. But why is Chris Flexen getting punished?
Well, maybe he doesn't get punished. Maybe they just, they set him down, get him stretched back out, and if
Do a phantom IL for Colin Ray or something.
no.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, you know what? You've cheered me up tonight, and I needed it, and I appreciate it.
And I'm sorry to report absolutely no updates recently on Miguel Amaya and Javier Assad.
McGregor gave one during the game, and it wasn't a good one. He hasn't done any baseball activity yet. They're still waiting for the muscle to completely heal.
All right. Coming up next, we got some history and trivia. Please stay tuned.
This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. You ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. I am starting to do a better job cooking in the kitchen, okay? It's something I really struggle with, but those delivery services, ordering out. It wasn't until I started using Monarch that I realized how much I was spending on food delivery. Now I budget smarter and save more by actually just cooking at home. It's a lot easier, folks. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. Matt, you can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year.
History and trivia to wrap up here.
I plead the fifth.
As the Cubs fall to the Phillies tonight and hope to bounce back on Tuesday. Colin Ray and Mick Abel on this day. I did hear this on the marquee broadcast, despite not catching that on my update. Derek Lee, 300th home run on this day, 15 years ago. Wow. And are you ready to name some Cubs Phillies since 2020?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But let's go for it. Since 2020?
Yeah, these are players who played for both the Cubs and Phillies. One position player and 8 pitchers.
Oh, my gosh. Fergie Jenkins. Ryan Sandberg. All right, I'll take it.
Those are the 2 famous ones, yeah.
I'll take it seriously. Dan Plesac. Okay.
Blue Jays have the bases loaded, 1 out.
Great. I'm going to need you to give some play-by-play so I could think. Okay, Schwarber.
That's the one position player. Now you have 8 pitchers. Here's a really inside clue. Ready?
No, I don't want one yet.
Oh, okay.
Let me get there.
Sure.
Now, do they have to be on the team now?
No.
Okay, Drew Smiley.
He was a Philly prior to 19. Sorry, prior to 20.
Craig Kimbrell.
Yes, that's one. I will get rid of his name.
David Robertson.
Yes, very good. Traded for Ben Brown.
Okay, how about
Blue Jays just grounded into a double play? It's not looking good.
Are you serious?
Yep. Could even hit a healthy fly ball. They are up 1 though. 3 outs left.
They're gonna get walked off. I
I really hope the game ends before we get off the air.
try to think, man. This is hard.
Yeah, no, it is. It's hard.
How about James Norwood?
Correct. Wow.
I only know that because I knew him.
You knew he was a Philly.
But I hung out with him a couple of times. Right. So I tracked.
Well, that was going to be my inside clue of bowling.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
How about Neris?
Yes, Hector Neris, Sam. Very good.
Can you not patronize me?
There's 4 more names.
I'm trying really hard here.
Somebody clip Sam saying that I cheered him up earlier.
I have so many Phillies pitchers in my head that weren't 2020. How about the famous left-hander Scott Air? All right, I'm gonna need some hints, man.
World Series legend.
Carl Edwards Jr.,
No.
Pedro Strop,
No.
World Series legend. They have so many of them.
Yeah,
Beard.
well, they played for the Cubs and Phillies. Besides Schwarber, obviously, you've already named him.
Oh, I'm. You know why? I'm thinking of relievers right now. So there's some starters I'm missing.
There's one starter, 3 relievers.
Beard, Arrieta.
You're right.
Come on, Sam. I was thinking relievers for some reason.
Well,
I
now
got
you have
one.
3.
I got one. Did Tommy Hunter?
Not
No.
in this time frame. Yeah, you have 3 nondescript relievers here. So,
What does that mean?
well, they're no names basically.
Great. All right. Let me think. I'm in a pretty good groove right now. I don't know.
I also have in front of me the Cubs 23 and 24 teams records through 66 games. Shout out to Star Wars.
Did Mark Leiter Jr. throw for Philly?
Yeah, he did, but it was earlier in the 2010s.
How old are these guys?
So I'll give you the 3 names here.
No hints.
I don't really know these guys that well.
All right, go ahead.
Adam Morgan,
Never would have even come close.
Eric Ullman,
Never even heard of him.
and Brandon Workman.
All right. You know what? I'm done with this segment. I mean, how can I get that?
Do you remember what the Cubs record through 66 games was last year?
66?
Yeah, because that's where they are now. So
I figured. I'm gonna say 33 and 33.
Oh, so close. 32 and 34.
Another wrong one for Sam. Everybody celebrate. What were they in 23? Like 8 and 50 or something?
Yeah. 8 and 50.
All right, 66 and 23. This is when they got a little bit hot. They started to get a little bit hot in June. I'll say 30 and 36.
29 and 30.
I'm off by 1 again.
Well, this was the first game of their long win streak, actually. You're right.
Let's just all laugh at Sam as Newbar gets called out on strike. So, wait, can we do a couple more Cubs Phillies just to do some?
Well, yeah, you got Jenkins, Sandberg, Leiter.
I said Scott Air.
Scott Air's a good one.
Marlon Byrd, I think, was a Cub and a Philly. Mitch Williams. I mean, there's some real famous ones.
Hack Wilson, too.
How about Keith Moreland?
Yeah.
Former
Cubs radio broadcaster.
Former Cubs radio broadcaster for a year. Only a year, I believe.
Yeah, it was a year or 2. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 outs, man, on third here for St. Louis. So this will be the ball game here if you want to filibuster for a bit.
I looked up a couple other things here.
Wait a minute. How about 20-game winner John Lieber?
Wow, that's a great one.
Except I don't know if it's right.
No, he pitched for the Phillies.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
Well, I'm not, so.
Oh, okay.
I just thought, you would know. So.
All right.
It's funny.
Do you know who the Cubs first?
And this ball game is over. Cardinals get beat.
That's an escape job by the Blue Jays, I have to say.
We're not healthy.
So the Cubs are 4 games up, right?
Yeah, I'm going to sleep tight tonight. I'm going to have an ice cream sandwich after this.
Do you know who the first and last rostered players are in the alphabet in Cubs history?
Are you serious?
All right, we could get.
Are you kidding me? What do I look like to you?
That'd be David Ardsma and Julio Zuleta, who hit 294 in 30 games.
Why don't you just ask me on the next show the square root of 712?
This is Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On podcast.
I thought I did a good.
I was actually pretty good at math in high school.
I thought I did a good job with that question.
Wasn't good at science. Your team every day. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. What was your best subject in school?
History.
Every game, I should have guessed that. Every night all season long, get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on the Locked On MLB channel on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, hopefully every dayer's got a laugh or two along the way. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.